Okay, so here we go. Man, I've been putting this off. These are the craziest times. I am now 12 weeks, so I think this is my 11-week video log. We are displaced from our home, to be dramatic. We decided to get out of the city and head up to the country. So we're in the Catskills right now, staying at a friend's. And we're so thankful to be here because the city feels like really nerve-wracking for us, and we can't really go outside. Oh yeah, this is the end of March 2020, and we're like in the midst of the coronavirus lockdown, shut in, stay in, whatever it's called. So you would know that if you're watching these videos consecutively. But anyway, if you're just tuning in, that's what we are going through right now during this time of the baby. And I have a little bump now. She's really, I call her she, but it's really starting to, I mean, this is a really great way to sit to like pop out your bump. But anyway, so we've been up here for a week, and I had makeup on all day, and then I took off my makeup and like put on all this moisturizer, and now I'm all shiny. But anyway, it's kind of been difficult to have the time to sit and make a video log about the pregnancy because we're here with two of our friends who are amazing, and you know, my husband is working really hard, doing everything he can to what he needs to do to maintain the business, and that's what everybody's doing. And so I've had, you know, Jasper and I are just, you know, we're just trying to enjoy it and make the, he's obviously oblivious, which is wonderful. And I'm just trying to enjoy this really strange time of worldwide pause and reflect and think about what I want in life, and yeah, and panic sometimes. Like I have waves of huge anxiety because we just don't know what the world is going to be like after this, or even tomorrow or the next week. I mean, we literally don't know where we're going to go. We're planning to go back to our apartment in the city for a couple of days so Josh can do some work at Clockwork, and then we are going to probably I mean, I want to head south. I want to head somewhere warm because up here in the mountains we're getting tomorrow we're getting 9 inches of snow. So you know, we want to be out of the city partially because we want to be able to go outside whenever we want. And while you can obviously go outside in the snow, come on, you know, you just want to like be able to lounge outside and play ball or, you know, take a walk without freezing your tail off. So that's what's going on. But right before we came, I think we've only been here for 5 days, but it feels like a really, really long time, at least a week. I mean, it feels like 2 or 3 weeks, but the day we came up, I had my midwife, I requested if she could come early. So I requested that the night before we left, and the next day she came. So she came the same day that we came up here. And it was so wonderful to see her because she is the same midwife that I worked with during my pregnancy with Jasper and the birth and afterwards. So to be reunited with her, I've seen her a few times since then. Like they do a brunch annually, and you know, we've been in touch here and there. Like she would reach out or I would reach out, and she tries to connect us, her clients, like if they're moms in the same area, you know, and she thinks that we would get along, she'll reach out. So anyway, we've been in touch, but it took a minute to, like, we waited until almost 12 weeks to have our first appointment. So before that, I had to like change my insurance and do a lot of things before we can like really settle. And so seeing her in the midst of all this chaos and all this uncertainty. And she was like, at first I was like, do you want to postpone? I understand if you don't want to come, if you're not traveling, or because she goes to all of our houses, all of her clients. So she was like, no, I don't want to postpone. I would love to come if you're comfortable with it. And she told me all the measures and precautions she's taking. She's a medical professional, so she can go anywhere. Because right now that's about, if you're going to have like a license, a medical license to be out and about. And there's a few other people, of course, like if you work at the grocery store, sanitation and others like that. But so anyway, Cher came over looking so beautiful, like in such great shape, like just really glowing, shining, and it felt just so great to see her. I wanted to give her a huge hug, but we're not supposed to do that. So I made her coffee, and then we got into trying to stay on topic of the pregnancy. Of course, we had to talk a bit about the world events, but she asked me all the questions. How am I feeling? What's going on? All the updates, like specific questions about appetite and digestion and mood, emotions, all the things. And of course, she took my blood pressure and all those things, medical things that they have to do. And then we got to hear the heartbeat, and that was so cool because we just hadn't heard that before, and it just makes it so real. It makes it so real. It's like a beautiful moment of connecting to your child. And I know that many people get like multiple sonograms, and I know why. I get that, because you get to see your baby, and it just makes it like, it's so exciting. I've opted to not do multiple sonograms, just as I did with my first pregnancy, because while it's so cool to see the baby, it's not necessary, and it's not necessarily the best thing for the baby either. So, doesn't mean you shouldn't get them. Of course, get them if you want to, and especially if it's a pregnancy that needs to be monitored more closely. Do it, don't, just because I have my own like hang-ups and stuff, like, do your research and make your decisions for yourself. But so anyway, I've opted to not do a lot of that stuff, and so hearing the heartbeat is really very exciting. And it was just great to speak with Cher, my midwife, and her to remind me of the intelligence of my body, and to know that everything's gonna work out, and she just has all the trust and faith in the human form, but especially because we've been down this road before. She knows. Our Prince cats are here, and one is out there meowing, so you might hear that. I always think it's Jasper. That's weird, but so she just kind of reinforced the trust, and it was very empowering to hear her say, like, your body is immaculate. And obviously we're not talking about like from some kind of aesthetic or superficial point of view, but like the ability and the infinite wisdom of your own body. Like, your body knows what to do. So that was really comforting to hear, knowing that we're going to be away from home for we don't know how long, maybe months. And, at this point we would be seeing each other once a month. And if I'm far away, like, that's a thing to think about, like, I won't be able to see her, we can do it via Skype, but you're not gonna hear the heartbeat, she's not gonna be able to test my blood pressure, those kind of things, which of course we can do we can do those things ourselves. We can get that equipment. Not that my mother-in-law's a nurse, so she could definitely walk me through how to take my blood pressure, and I know there's YouTube videos and all that. So anyway, to think that like you would be doing that stuff on your own it's a little bit unsettling. Like, I want to see her because it was so comforting. But so that was the first appointment. It was great. I felt so good and like so comforted by her and getting the attention on the baby for like a few minutes, because it's all been, I mean, we're in a national emergency. It is like the most insane time. Our business is closed. I mean, it's been an insane year, because it all started with, well, I found out I was pregnant like a couple weeks into January, 1 or 2 weeks. And then 2 days later, I found out my father died. And, you know, that's pretty loaded. And then I went home and I was with my family and going through all of my dad's things and stuff. And, you know, that's a lot of emotional stuff. And then it was like, okay, now we need to move and we have to find a place to live. And that was very challenging and difficult, which I've talked about a lot in these videos. And then the coronavirus hits, the COVID-19, and here we are. Like, I mean, are we going to move into that apartment that we paid the deposit and first month's rent and signed the contract? Well, I don't know. Well, are we going to have a business when this is all over? Are we going to have income? I don't know. So to say that this is a stressful time it's an understatement. I mean, poor Jasper, like, he's been having a hard time. You know, he's a really great kid, but suddenly it's like terrible twos, you know, a couple of times a day. It's like, oh my God. And, you know, he's just all about mom. So he's downstairs with Josh and our friend right now playing. I thought I heard him coming up. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to make the video. As far as the pregnancy goes and symptoms and such, I don't feel any nausea anymore. I've been sleeping relatively well, all things considered. Eating a ton, plenty of an appetite. Up here, I've just been like indulging. Our friends love bread, and we did a huge bakery run. We didn't actually go into a bakery, but like they took orders via email and then we went and picked it up. So anyway, just for those, we are very quarantined. So there's tons of bread and like chocolate croissants, and I cannot resist those kind of things. So been eating that. Everyone's taking turns cooking, so dinners are really good and like hearty. We did pasta last night. Tonight we did like a mushroom stir fry with peas and kale. It was delicious and garlicky and lots of delicious fruit whenever possible, which is basically like apples and pears and banana right now. I had a smoothie today, which smoothies are like, it's a good source of nutrients. Taking my started taking prenatal probiotics. All that's feeling fine. I mean, I'm not as regular as usual, and that really sucks. It's just like another thing. But I know that's a common symptom of pregnancy. It didn't happen with my last pregnancy, but here we are. It's happening in this one. So that's what's going on with that. What other, like, I know that supposedly right now it would be like a time where you can, at 12 weeks, like a new symptom would be like dizziness. And I mean, I get that sometimes in life in general, like either from like getting up too fast or probably not drinking enough water. But so far that has not been an issue. I just had something I was going to say. Dizziness. Oh yeah, the baby is the size of a lime right now, so that's kind of exciting. Like, it's like pretty substantial. I juiced a lime for dinner tonight, so like it's a good size. Like, that is something, I don't know, you know, from like, it's like a seed at one point, the size of a seed, to the size of a lime is pretty cool, or a hacky sack, depending on which app you're using. I opted for 80s and 90s nostalgia, but you still always get the fruit. So anyway, the little things in life, you know, whatever you can do to get a little joy in these difficult times. So I've been painting a little bit, just pregnant women. I like that. I started painting them before I knew I was pregnant, so when I found out I was pregnant, it was like I was kind of shocked to find out that I in fact was pregnant. I'll show you the one I'm working on now. It's just in the beginning, but she's kind of cool. Just like me. So that's about it. That's the update right now. I hope you're doing great. I hope there's no national emergency by the time you're seeing this. And lots of love to everyone, and thank you for tuning in. And I hope that in some way this helps you or just brings you a little bit of joy. And sending love to everyone and gratitude. Good night. Good night for me.